Alright, we'll actually be doing two things. We're going to set PageRunner up to run from a workstation. To do that, we're going to go out to the Explorer and explore the mapped drive letter where our installation of S2000 is located. So once we open up the contents of our S drive, we'll see the prunner.exe file in the S drive. We can right-click on it and send it to the desktop and create a shortcut. Once we have our PageRunner icon or shortcut on the desktop, we can double-click on it and open it up. So now we'll hit OK. Here we're logging into test data. Of course, on your system this will be probably either data or an abbreviation of your company name. Once we're into the test data, we're going to do one of several things here. We're going to set up a network for Gmail. This is Google's free email service. It's also, if you use the Android software on a smartphone, they almost always require you to set up a Gmail account. So once our paging network wizard is up here, we'll click on New. We're just going to give this the description, Gmail. PageRunner always defaults to TAP or a modem setup. We're going to be using the SMTP protocol. Our email domain in this case is going to be Gmail. You do not have to put the @ symbol in front of this. For two-way paging, it's best to put a reply to field in here. In this case, we're going to use page at s2000fss.com. We don't need a reply prologue, and it's probably best to go on ahead and enter in a max message length. In this case, we're going to use 500. We'll click Next, Next, and there's no server pin or anything, so we're going to hit Finish. And now we have a Gmail network set up. So our next step is going to be to set up a device, and in this case, again, we're going to hit New, and the description is going to be Doug Email. And we're going to select the network we just set up, which is Gmail. And in this case, we're going to be using my Gmail account, which is MDOGWYNN. Somebody already had MDoug, so I've set this up. Now, if we leave this at 0, it'll read from the network setting. So we don't need to actually put anything in there. Again, it'll read from whatever the message length is from the network setting, and in this case, it's Gmail. So we're going to hit Finish on this, and now we have a network and a device set up. Next, we're going to use whatever proper authentication we are for a particular mail server. One of the things when you first set up a workstation to run PageRunner and you come upon these system options, we're going to go ahead and check this out. This way it will not prompt for the location of a database. It'll use whatever was logged into last. We're going to go ahead and hit the SMTP tab here, and we'll be using the S2000 FSS mail server. That is mail.s2000fss.com. Some mail services use SMTP for the SMTP settings, some use mail. There's also SMTP AUTH, several different settings for the SMTP server. You'll need to check with your email provider to make sure that you have the proper name of the server in here. In this case, we use a page at s2000fss.com for a user ID, and of course you'll have to enter in the correct password for that authentication. So we'll say OK on that, and next I want to go back to the server setup again. We're going to enter the same thing for the POP3 and enable the inbound. This of course only applies if you have purchased the two-way module for PageRunner. Again, our mail server for the POP settings is mail.s2000fss.com. It may depend on what service you're using. It could be pop.thenameofyourcompany.com and so forth. However, this will use the same user ID and password. .com and the password. to say OK. Now we can do one of two things. We can either view the server, or once we exit out of S2000 and rerun our PageRunner executable shortcut on the desktop here, it should automatically go in and log into the data without asking any questions. So now it's checking inbound messages on that email account. Looks like it's found one. However, it did not have any PageRunner information in it, so it has deleted this out, assuming it's spam. So you'll probably want to make sure that you do not use your own personal email account, because, again, if PageRunner does not see any PageRunner reference numbers in it, it will delete out the contents of that account. So now that we have our PageRunner application up and running, we're going to pull up S2000 and set up a user to use that particular device. So we right-click on the technician name, go to the technician properties, select the phone tab, and in this case we're going to select the paging device called Doug Email. Once we hit OK, we should be able to now send this work order either from or by right-clicking on an e-card and sending it to the pager, or by using the notification button up here underneath the tasks menu. We'll go ahead and use this one. It shows us the contents of what's going to be sent. This is what they call tokens, or data fields that are grabbed from a PageRunner script. So now when we hit finish, we should be able to come back down here either to the view menu in S2000, view, system views, and page log. And we'll see that this email has been queued. And we can also see this as well from the PageRunner application itself. However, it's already sent it. This is based on the amount of time that you have set up for a send interval here. So apparently it's been 30 seconds since we set that up. And but if we go in here and we view the page log, we'll see where this has been sent. And now we hit done, and you can see the reply that it checked a while ago, which had nothing in it. And now basically we'll wait for this to appear on the phone and set a timestamp. The timestamps then are, of course, alongside of the setup, paging, and paging options. As you can see, I don't have any in here other than OK, and that would turn it to the color for acknowledged. So we can set this up for in A, no answer. I kind of recommend that you actually use an uppercase and then a lowercase letter, because generally on the smartphones the very first letter that you type is going to be capitalized. So here we're going to call this TRAV, START, SUSP, COMP, LUNCH, and PARTS. These two here are these custom timestamps up here. You can set those up in the system options. So we're going to say OK on that. And now we'll reply to the message sent with the smartphone. Alright, after some waiting time, we realized that the email is not going to come back. And so after a little bit of investigation, some of you may have seen earlier where I set up this network Gmail. Unfortunately, I forgot to put a .com on the end of it. So this is good in a way to kind of show you how important it is to pay close attention to what you're doing with this. And so now we're going to hit done. We can minimize. Again, when you're running PageRunner, it has to run all the time, so it's best to make sure that it's in the taskbar at the bottom of your workstation or your server. You do not want to click the X. You always want to minimize it and leave it running. So now we're going to right-click here and send this to Pager again. So we go send to Pager, and here we hit finish, and now we should receive it at gmail.com. Okay, and I have received the email from PageRunner on my smartphone. I'm going to reply to it with the word start, and that's a capital S, S-T-A-R-T, and once I hit that, I can hit done and then send, and now we should see the D board light up green where I've set that paging option for the word start whenever someone replies. And of course, PageRunner will go in and check that. And there we see where the timestamp has turned green. And of course, when we come down in here into PageRunner, we'll see where a reply was received. We can actually go in here now to the View menu and look at our page log and see where this reply was received. And this is the message that it was replied with. In other words, I hit reply on the smartphone, typed in the word start, and hit sent. And of course, there's some other junk in here as well. But that's okay. Now we have our timestamp set in the S2000 D board here. And we know that technician has received it and is in fact starting on the job. And that's really about all there is to it.